Hey everyone, welcome back. In our last video, basically we introduced you to two important concepts. The first one was the starting point for any computing application to run. Okay, so we said that in Scratch, the most common starting point that we use to introduce students to this idea is basically this green flag. Okay, so when I click on the green flag, I want to start the program, and this main block here is at the top. Okay, so when I click on the green flag over here, I will start to execute everything that comes after this block over here. And the other thing that we saw was the forever block. So with the forever block, every instruction that I put inside here will execute one by one or sequentially, and when I reach the end, it goes back and starts all over again. Okay, so let me just run that again, just that so that we can see. Okay, once we are done with that, okay, basically that was last lesson's objective. Now today, on this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to remove away this forever block first, and we're also going to remove away this green flag. So you can see that in order to remove a block, I can just click in it and drag it out of the screen. Or another option is I can also right click and I can say delete block. Okay, so the block can go away. Now, what I'm going to do is instead of making an object just repeat the same action and again, which can be quite boring, we want to have more control over this object. Okay, just like when you're playing a game, you want to have control over how the character moves around in the screen. Now, in order to do that, what we're going to do is we are going to make use of the keyboard's arrow keys. Okay, how do I capture this input from the user? Okay, so let's go to the left hand side. Let's click on the events section over here. And what we used last week was last lesson was this when green flag clicked. And now I want you to select the second option when space key pressed. Okay, now this, as you can see, when I click on the space, there is actually a few different options which captures a lot of the inputs that you can capture from the keyboard. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the up, down, right and left arrow keys. Okay, so first let's select the up arrow key over here. Okay, and for the up arrow key, okay, and we're going to right click here and we're going to say duplicate. Okay, so this is another interesting or neat feature that we have. So instead of always dragging the blocks from the panel over to the main programming area, we can also right click and select duplicate if you want another copy. Okay, and now this other copy I'm going to say down arrow click. Okay, and I'm going to do it two more times, duplicate. Okay, and this is going to be my right arrow, and I'm going to do it one more time, and this is going to be my left arrow. Okay, so I'm going to delete this whole block over here. Okay, now let's come back to our objective here, which we are saying that whenever I use any of the arrow keys, I want to be able to control the sprite over here, or the cat. Okay, so let's look at the right and left. What we saw just now was in the earlier videos, for movement we have motion. Okay, so for motion we can just say move 10 steps. So whenever I click on the right arrow, I can say move 10 steps. Correct. Now, in order for me to test it right now, actually I don't need to click on the green flag or don't need to do anything. I just straight away can press my right arrow key on my keyboard and I will see that it starts to move. Okay, and that's a very neat feature that we have. So now instead of relying on the green flag, okay, I can straight away just use any arrow key and use that to control the sprite on the screen. Now how about the left arrow key? So for the left arrow key, all I need to do is I can use the same thing, move 10 steps, but now since I'm moving in the opposite direction, I need to click on this 10 over here, okay, and move my cursor in front of the 10 and put a negative sign. So negative sign means I'm moving in the opposite direction. So let's click on the left arrow here. So you can see now the sprite is moving to the left. Okay, that's nice. Now let's complete it with the up and down arrow keys. Okay, for the up and down. Okay, so how do I do this? Now, in our space over here, you can see that there is this uh, grid system here where we call the left and right as left to right uh, spacing as x and up to down as y. Okay, so this is basically how we draw a coordinate geometry axis. Okay, but you do not need to worry about it too much. Okay, for now we just take it simply that as long as I'm moving the object left to right, I worry about the x value. If the object is moving up and down, I worry about the y value. Okay, so I focus on the x or the y. So for me to make the object move upwards, the y value must increase. So that is the up arrow. So there's a change y by 10. Okay, and in order for me to move the object downwards, I again change y by this time a -10. Okay, so now if I move my up arrow key and my down arrow key, my cat is actually able to move in all four directions. So this y is to move the object up and down, and x is to move the object right and left. So over here, if I can remove this, and I also can change it to this block here which says change x by 10, and over here change x by -10. I'll see the same effect. Okay, so in this video, basically what we have done is we have learned how to use specific keys or inputs from the keyboard, okay, and use that to control the sprite on the screen. Okay, so I hope you have learned that well. So do play around, and of course, as what we saw just now, besides the um, upright, up, down, right, left arrow keys, there are also all the other keys that it can capture as well, the alphabets as well as the numbers, as well as the spacebar key. So go and try it out, okay, and see how else you can make your sprite move around the screen. All right, have fun. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.